think that we overplay the role of racial conflict in American life?
Yes. A lot of people make a lot of money off of the racists fighting against each other and bickering. They the ones who push it in our face all the time that we're separate. It's like you're stuck in a bad movie and you can't get out. A never-ending, winless battle of race and color, and we're worried about, where you from, and it's not about race. It's not about color and gender and this and that. It's about who do you connect with? Who do you vibrate with? You know what I mean? Who's on the same wavelength?
Tell him, Cube.
I think every reasonable person agrees.
Cube.
Every reasonable person agrees. Candice, who do you think benefits from this constant division?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Cui bono, baby.
I don't think anyone's asking that either, right? We just get so lost in the mess of othering other people. I would look at all of these authors. I can't even think of the names, but like Ibram Kendi.
Ibram
Who's
Kendi
that?
X.
What do they do?
Ibram X Kendi.
So what they do is they get paid boatloads of money to show up to your corporation because they are going to rid you and your corporation and your employees of racism, of misogyny, of whatever. So for the small fee of like $50,000, I'll come and do that. And then they'll sell their books and they'll go on a book tour. And there's never enough. So there's
Robin DiAngelo, to your point.
There you go.
Robin DiAngelo is the queen of the grift. Ida Bae Wells of the 1619 Project, New York Times, another queen grifter. Ibram X Kendi, who says the only way to fix racism in the past is to be racist in the present. Counter racism is his deal, and he writes children's books. There's
anti-racist baby.
Anti-racist baby.
Me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an entire.
Do corporations need this, or do they need to get sent to like the KKK people, or the like Black Power people, or the people who are actually being racist?
Well, the crazy part is
put them all in a room together and let it sort out.
Go talk to them. I mean, it's not normal people.
Well, there is a guy.
the guy that he's a co-founder of Minds. What's his name?
The black dude, very interesting guy.
I refuse to admit that the average American is racist.
In 2023?
Is unaware. Yeah, in the average. I'm talking about in big populations, big groups. There's no way. You have to be a freaking idiot to think that just because of someone's skin color, it makes them different.
Yeah.
It's like the painting of a house. Blue house, green house, purple house. They're all houses.
Yeah.
No one has to look this way. You don't pick your skin color. You don't pick. We're all different.
Well, the thing is that they keep going back to skin color too, and it's like, well, okay, man. Like, I want to feel bad for you. I want to have empathy for you, but then how do you explain the massive success Indian and Pakistani and sub-Indian cultural descendants are having in America? They're massively successful. They're per capita way more successful than white people. So if the actual color argument doesn't really work. You know what I'm saying?
Look, David Adib said it best. We're all different, and that's what makes us all the same. We all have different good qualities, bad qualities, whatever. But we're all just fucking people.
Dude, the thing is like everybody I meet everywhere I go feels this way. It's like you said. But who is pushing this narrative? The ESG.
Media.
It's
media?
more than media. Media is definitely like the tip of the spear.
I think it's the two people in the towers where they're like, and then down there are the pitchfork people and the torch people, and they're like, hey, as long as we keep the torch people and the pitchfork people arguing with each other, they're not gonna be worried about us. We're gonna be safe up in our tower.
Yeah,
that's the elites, and that's the media propagandizing that.
About a month back on Slick and Thick, we had Dan Holloway from the Drinking Bros podcast on, and he said that some of this is intentional disinformation being pumped in, propaganda being pumped in. He said this is what Russia actually does well. So some of this stuff could be being funded from our enemies just trying to sow discord. Some of this stuff could be, a Cold War attack, really. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So you
think it's coming from the enemies? You think they're like paying our news stations to talk about this stuff?
For sure. I do. I really believe that. I think, especially on the college campuses, where does a lot of this stuff comes from?
From China.
China, yeah, like the School of Confucius.
School of Confucius is pumping a ton of money in to get certain curriculums pushed, and part of the curriculums is critical race theory and queer, what they call queer theory.
To divide us, sow discord.
Specifically, too. Yeah. Yeah, and if people don't know, look, you want to kind of understand, like
no, those people need to stop accepting money from these nefarious places.
Follow the money, baby.
Easier said than done, but
Ice Cube said something very interesting there. It's the never-ending. It's the never-ending war. Yeah, because it makes them so much money. It makes them so much money. We've had a war on drugs, a war on poverty, a war on racism my whole life. Either these guys are really bad at winning these wars or they don't want to.
They don't want to win.
They don't want to win. They're making so much money off of it. If you want to educate yourself on what's going on, you can check out anything on Critical Theory is going to really open your mind on this. James Lindsay and Peter Bogdazian do a great job as far as this is concerned. They have a website called New Discourses.
Yeah.
New Discourses is fantastic to get a really, although it's a little bit of a hard read. They use, as Mickey likes to say, a lot of $10 words. But it really does. They're the front lines of where this ideology is kind of sprouting from and like what the actual tactics being used are. And then if you want to see what's happening to you, you want to see the playbook for what's happening to you, Mickey and I just read Rules for Radicals. And Rules for Radicals will one by one, the steps that...
yeah, you see the playbook.
The steps that they do, it'll blow your mind. And you'll be like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Speaking of $10 words, what are those type of like sayings they do in like the show Succession?
Oh,
like they use,
buzzwords.
Maybe.
Not catchphrase, like buzzwords.
But it's almost like
corporate speak.
Like we need to land the plane to a more something climate and like
they drive me out of my mind.
What are those called?
Oh man, to me,
you know what we're talking about, Candice?
Yeah. They're
Give me an
example.
couple
They're corporate
examples.
buzz phrases.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, look, guys, team, we're trying really hard here, and I understand we're trying to put the plane together while we're flying it, but it's like hey, look, I'm gonna make an end run and trying to get to Josh to put a pin in this thing, and then we're gonna
corporate jargon.
Yes, the corporate jargon.
Yeah. Anybody who talks like that.
We have this little toy. It's like kind of like a walkie-talkie, and it has 6 different buttons on it, and each button is some kind of corporate phrase. And my baby will just sit there and play it, and he loves it so much. One was like, let me circle back on that, or let's put a pin in that.
We have a lot to unpack here.
Yes, that's one of them.
As soon as I hear
we need to be disruptive. There's another
my
one.
God.
That's his favorite. And I was like, I just feel like my mom's in the room every time he has that button because she's so guilty of all of that. So bad.
It's so funny. Something I love about it though. Like I can listen to them
It was
all
so
day.
corny.
It's
my
like
God.
yeah, exactly. It's corny. It's like they think they're being smart, but really they don't know what they sound like. It's a lack of self-awareness.
No, I think they do know what they sound like, and they just try to one up each
They
other
think
on
it's
that.
cool?
Oh, they love
do,
it. They
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
It's like a hierarchy on who can fit the
Newsflash,
most.
we don't.
Yeah. And this is why I've never lasted in corporate America, because as they go around the table trying to one up each other on corporate speak, I'm just like, I don't know, let's just get the fucking job done. Like, why are we even having this meeting? This meeting's about another meeting.
But then you just threw a microaggression out there, and now you have to go to HR.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just very verbose for like just the point of like hearing each other talk.
It is not very intelligent people trying to convince other people they're intelligent by trying to mimic what they feel like is the behavior of intelligent people.
Yeah.
They've memorized.
Yes, that I think you just. Yeah, you put your
They've
finger on
memorized a couple of buzz phrases. They do this in politics all the time too. They memorize somebody that they admire, and somebody that they admire has stolen phrases from somebody that they admired, who stole phrases from Tony Robbins. And now this thing gets watered down in this game of corporate telephone until like everybody's making an end run and, is going to be the superstar of a team, not a, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, okay, I'm done. I think everybody sees this. My hope and prayer is that 2024, we don't let them win with this tactic. Everybody knows this tactic is happening, but I think the good thing is Jocko Willink has got me thinking good. The good thing is I think it's played out, and what happens when it's played out is a tactic that becomes a drag is a drag.
Yes, they did COVID to you.
Good.
Now you see what it was.
You've seen it.
Now you know.
And what
Don't
happens,
let it happen again.
What happens
Learn
in Rules
from
for
your
Radicals?
mistakes.
What happens in Rules for Radicals? A tactic that drags is a drag.
It's a drag.
So this is dragging. Move on to another tactic. Separate us differently by the color of our nipples this time. So at least we can walk around topless to be angry with each other.
Free the nipple.
Yeah.